Ready when you are.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the July 18th, 2022 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. I'd like the sheriff, please, to lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'm Barb Lewis, President. To my right is our Vice President, Jeff Benton. To our left is fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, our Administrator, Tracy Davies, and our Deputy Administrator, Don Houston, our clerks, Sarah DeNovo and Jennifer Walraven. We can begin.
Resolution number 22-579, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held July 11th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-579. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today, so that brings us to item number 3. Resolution number 22-580, in the matter of approving purchase orders and announce certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0715 and memo transfers in batch number MT APR 0715.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-580. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-581, in the matter of accepting the treasurer's report for the month of June 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-581. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-582, in the matter of a transfer of a liquor license request from Jadis One Incorporated to HYOUNG Kim, doing business as Tokyo Sushi, and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no request for a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-582. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-583, in the matter of proclaiming the week of July 17th through 23rd, 2022 as pretrial, probation, and parole supervision week in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion,
Good morning.
morning.
If I may move this a little bit. Okay. Good morning. I am Karen Moore. I'm the Chief Probation Officer at Juvenile Court. I have the honor and privilege of working with juvenile probation officers and having a great relationship with probation officers at Adult Court Services. The work done by probation is meaningful in the lives of adult and youthful offenders and their families to produce long-term positive outcomes. Probation officers in the juvenile court work not only with a youthful offender, but with their families. They work with schools, family advocates, victim services, counseling agencies, attorneys, and myriad of other members of the community who are all here for the one purpose of making a better future for our kids. Many people dedicate their entire career to the profession. We're often asked what the best part of our job is. As a young probation officer, my answer was always seeing that someone would make it and successfully completing probation. As a seasoned probation officer, my answer is always similar. Now my answer is seeing someone I know or worked with in probation 15 or 20 years ago being successful today, regardless of what the outcome was of their probation then. The work a probation officer could do with someone does not end when a piece of paper says it does. Every probation officer I've ever known has been open to continuing to be a supportive resource long past the end of formal probation for someone. We have strong and dedicated workers who make up our staff at Juvenile Court. Each officer brings their own background and experience to the profession. Having a diverse and full staff is vital to the success of our department. It allows having enough staff to match the youth and the family with the officer who would work best for long-term success. Having a full staff keeps caseloads at a reasonable size and ensure that all of our youth and families receive the supportive attention they need to change behavior and create peace within the home. We are thankful for the support of the Delaware County Commissioners, our Juvenile Court Judge David Himanowski, and Juvenile Court Administrator Katie Stemman. Without you, we would not have a lot of the resources we need to make a lasting impact on the community we serve here in Delaware County. I would like to close with a thank you to the judge, Katie, and our probation staff, who do the boots on the ground work every day to keep Delaware County a safe and successful community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of Adult Court Services, I would like to thank the Commissioners for taking the time this morning to acknowledge pretrial probation and parole supervision weeks. At times, the services of our office go unnoticed and unacknowledged. However, what we accomplish on a daily basis is vital to our community. I'm honored to work with a group of professionals who display overwhelming dedication to those we supervise and the community that we protect. Lastly, I would like to thank not only the staff of Adult Court Services, but all those in community corrections as we strive to better the lives of those we supervise and the communities in which we serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments?
I'll just, between the comments from Kara and Mike, I don't know that I have a lot to add, other than we applaud the work that you and your entire organization does, so thank you very much.
And I'd like to thank you as well. It's important work. It's work that really helps the kids that need the help, and that's very important for the county. So thank you all. I know it's not easy, but it's great to pause and take a week to recognize the group. So thank you.
Thank you. I feel the same, and your dedication and the patience that you must have. I mean, it's just incredible. It really is, especially today. And we'd like to get a picture.
Could we get a vote first?
We better vote first. That's right. So it's all legal.
Vote on motion 22-583. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right.
Come on in, Franklin.
Kara and Mike, whoever wants to do the eyes. I'm going to get my hair. You all?
Cannot see. Let's see, Gia, I can do yeah, that's good. Can you stay crouching down though so I can see Lori? Okay. Everybody, woo, look over here in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much.
Stay here for one more, let me get going.
Oh, here.
Go to Mr. Franklin. Got him. There you go.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for what you do.
I got you.
I'm good. How are you?
He's very well behaved.
I don't miss those days.
Oh. My gosh, not a peep. Oh. That's so cute. Okay.
Resolution number 22-584, in the matter of declaring county personal property not needed for public use and authorizing the sale of personal property to Sergeant Arthur Kester on the occasion of his retirement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks for allowing me to come talk about Art for a little bit. So Deputy Sheriff Sergeant Art Kester will retire on July 31st of this year after serving just over 29 years of service with Delaware County Sheriff's Office. He started on June 19th, 1993, after he'd been with the Plain City Police Department for a short period of time as a member of their police department. He grew up here in Delaware County. I believe he graduated from Big Walnut High School. Art has served in several areas throughout his career, serving as a patrol deputy, a detective. He was promoted in 2002 to the rank of corporal and was working in the court services division. And he has led an outstanding detective bureau since being promoted to sergeant in 2009. 14 years in that position, it's a long time, and it's not an easy job. He's on call 24/7, 365, so he answers his phone all the time. During his tenure in the Detective Bureau, Art has supervised detectives that have investigated Just about every type of call and all of them are uniquely memorable to him. However, after Art was asked what he felt the most memorable case was, he stated it was a homicide investigation into the death of Brittany Mcdowell. Brittany was found buried in a shallow grave at the Alum Creek State Park, and through good teamwork and excellent investigation, the suspect was arrested very quickly. In this investigation, Art was very instrumental in obtaining a confession from the suspect, who ultimately pled guilty to the murder. Art also is a hands-on supervisor, and here recently, there was a call where we had a suspect who ran from police officers in Franklin County. He was armed and dangerous, said he wasn't going to be taken alive, and we found him out at the Flying J. Art actually ended up making the apprehension and did have to use his taser in that, so I mean, that was just very recently. Art never backs away from anything. Another interesting tidbit is that Delaware County has not had an unsolved homicide since Art took over as a detective sergeant. And in fact, under his leadership, he's helped solve several cold case murders too. Art will be missed not only for his dedication, but for the integrity he brought to the profession and to every aspect of his life, which serves as an example to others. On behalf of Sheriff Martin and the entire Delaware County Sheriff's Office, I thank Art for his dedicated service to our country and our community and wish him continued good health and happiness in his retirement. He's going to be sorely missed.
Oh, boy, that's just amazing. I guess he's not here.
He is not, because he's actually still working.
He's working, yeah.
They've got
okay.
several cases going on right now.
Oh, my gosh.
So he's not one for fanfare either.
Okay. He just gets stuff done.
He does. Like I said, he's going to be sorely missed. He's been a great leader for our detective bureau for many years, and we're looking forward to the next reiteration of Art. I asked all the detectives, or the sergeants who were going for the detective sergeant position in the interview, I asked them if they would be willing to change their name to Art. And all of them said yes, of course.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you so much, Sheriff Scriven. That's great. Boy, congratulations. Do you know what he's going to do in his retirement? Is he really
Right
going to retire?
now, he doesn't really have many plans.
Okay.
I know he loves camping, so he's going to do some camping.
Okay.
But right now, he's just going to enjoy retirement for a little bit, and
Sure.
maybe find an odd job here or
He
there.
probably
We may have
will.
him back as a part-time employee. Who knows?
Right. Oh, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You too. Thanks so much. Vote?
Do we,
Vote on motion 22-584, Mr. Merrill, or I'm sorry, 585. Mr. Benton?
yes.
Mrs.
Aye.
Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Item number 9. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we on
I
8?
messed that up. It was at 584, so let's try 585 this time. Resolution number 22-585, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation, a transfer of appropriation, and a transfer of funds, and an advance of funds for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Karen knew just what
I'm
we
just
were
going to move
doing.
it all around.
Karen was ready.
I thought it was me. Karen Watkins, Juvenile Court. Again, we're moving around a lot of money. The first is a award that we received in advance from the Supreme Court. We had hoped that that project would have been done in '21. Unfortunately, it was not. So the supplemental appropriation is to pay for that last invoice to close out that project. The transfer of appropriations is another Supreme Court project that we have currently going on. This one, however, is a reimbursable project. While we have invoiced them for both April and May and soon to be June charges, we have yet to receive a check back from them. So this is just to make sure that we're covered for payroll.
Any questions? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-585. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-586, in the matter of approving the agreement between the Delaware County Juvenile Court, the Board of Delaware County Commissioners, and the Board of Education of the Educational Service Center of Central Ohio for a truancy officer.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is the agreement between the Juvenile Court and the ESC to cover the truancy officer, her salary and benefits, and it keeps in line with what her actual cost is to the county.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-586. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-587, in the matter of authorizing the submission of an application for a grant from the Ohio Attorney General Victims of Crime Act for the Victim Services Program and the Court-Appointed Special Advocate Program for Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
This is the annual submission for the Voca project. The first one covers the victims of juvenile crime. This project itself has returned almost $10,000 annually to victims of juvenile crime. And the second is our CASA program.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-587. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-588, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application for the Department of Youth Services Reclaim Grant for Delaware County Probate Juvenile Court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This, again, is an annual submission. This is to the Department of Youth Services. This grant covers our family advocates, our intake officers, and our probation officers, as well as our diversion program. It also extended out to our assessment center, and we recently, with the competitive grant of $50,000 for our JDAI coordinator.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-588. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-589, in the matter of authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services for the Delaware County Family Treatment Court Program for Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
This is our treatment court program that we have running through the juvenile court. It covers a portion of Gia, who you just saw with Franklin for our treatment court probation officer. It's a flatline funded project.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-589. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
That was it for me.
Thank you very much. Karen? Yeah.
Resolution number 22-590, in the matter of approving the subgrant agreement extension for the state program year 2022-2023 with Greater Ohio Workforce Investment Board Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jennifer Wattenshade. I'm the Business Administrator with Job and Family Services. This is just a sub-grant agreement between our community partners through our Workforce Board. They provide certain services at our Ohio Meets Job Center, and we, in turn, of course, make sure that they're covered for that.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-590. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-591, in the matter of amending the child placement service contracts between the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and Providers Safely Home Incorporated, and Osterland Services for Youth Incorporated.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
This is just 2 additional placement contracts so that we have additional places for our youth that we need homes for.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-591. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-592, in the matter of setting the bid date and time to receive bids for the Berlin Business Park Force Main project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. So we originally opened bids for the force main and pump station project on June 22nd. We received no bids on the force main and 1 bid that was over 10% of the estimate on the pump station. So we plan to rebid the projects. The feedback that we got from the contractors who were plan holders was that the time frame was not long enough for construction. The equipment procurement timeframes right now are substantially longer than normal, so they need some additional time to be able to complete the project in order to be able to bid. So what we did was we lengthened the schedule out until the end of 2023 for completion of the force main, which is this project. The pump station will bid in September, and that one will also be complete by the end of 2023. So that was kind of the feedback that we got from the contractors as far as when to bid and how long of a schedule that they needed.
So you think with the increase in length, you'll have more optimism?
That's what we're hearing. Yes, we had several contractors say that they could bid if we gave them an additional, several months to complete the project.
What about the engineer's estimate? Have you changed that then?
We did not. It's still $3.84 million on the force main, and I believe it's like $2.7 million on the pump station. We don't plan on changing the pump station at this time, and we have not changed the force main. We didn't get a lot of feedback that needed to be changed. We'll continue to look into the pump station, though, as we get closer to bidding that one.
it's interesting, it's more of a lead time than the actual cost.
Right, yeah, that was the feedback that we got. So I think we're hoping that we can get some bids on the table this time around that are within 10% of the estimate.
Very good.
Well, this is a very important project. These are projects, both of them, as you know.
Yeah.
So appreciate the willingness to, work with the contractors.
Yeah, so we'll see if the feedback we've obtained is in line with, what they're saying when we open bids. It's end of August, we'll open the bids on this one, and then we'll bid the pump station mid-September.
Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 22-592, Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thank you.
Resolution number 22-593, in the matter of establishing a maintenance bond and releasing construction bond for Clarkshaw Moore, Section 5.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Morning, Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. The construction on the new streets and stormwater improvements is done in Clarkshaw Moore, Section 5, and so this is ready to go on the one-year developer maintenance period.
Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 22-593, Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-594, in the matter of approving the project grant agreement between the Ohio Public Works Commission and the Board of Delaware County Commissioners for the project known as Del TR 409-2.73 Green Meadows Drive construction from Holden Road to Lewis Center Road, and authorizing Commissioner Gary Merrill to execute said agreement along with approving disbursements as a result of the agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
We were successful in getting just under $500,000 toward this project. It will involve connecting the new Home Road extension up to Lewis Center Road at the roundabout at North Road. So this will be a nice connection for the area, provide some additional connectivity between Lewis Center Road and Home Road. We are still working with the property owners on acquisition of the right-of-way. So I expect that'll take a couple of more months. And there is an outstanding petition hearing that will have to go through your board for consideration of a special assessment. And so still got a little bit more work to do before we can go to bid on this. But with that said, I would expect we'll bid this out late this fall or early winter, and then go to construction over the winter through the spring, and hopefully have it all wrapped up by next summer.
To answer your question.
Yeah, you know what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
But that will help 23, at least some, relieve some of the traffic on 23. So the sooner the better.
Yep.
Vote please.
Vote on motion 22-594, Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-595, in the matter of approving the plat of subdivisions for Riverwood Farms, CAD, and Hyatt's Meadows, Section 3A.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
These two plats are ready for your approval. Riverwood Farm is a small common access drive subdivision off of Powell Road, just east of the river, and then Hyatt's Meadows is off Hyatt's Road.
Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 22-595, Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-596, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Nothing out of the ordinary here, so recommending approval.
Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 22-596, Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. I'm sorry.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-597, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
I'm not as tall as him. Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. Before you is a supplemental appropriation to cover the expenses associated with the Imniware software that Delaware County EMS wishes to use to more efficiently track our exposures and vaccinations in our department. And I'm here in case you have any additional questions.
Okay, and then subsequent years, there'll be some costs, but even lower.
Yes, so for 3 years, this will be covered under our ARPA funding, and then the years after that, it'll be rolled into the EMS budget.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-597. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-598, in the matter of establishing a new fund and new organization fee.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Commissioners, Tracy Davies, County Administrator. This is establishing a new org key for the opioid settlement money. We're required to set up a separate org key for any kind of settlement payments, and this will establish that fund, and then we anticipate putting together some sort of committee to take a look and make recommendations to you on how we might spend these funds as they come in, whether we wait for the fund to build up and do something large or spend it as it comes in. I think the initial payment is relatively small. So I know that the sheriff's office and the prosecutor's office have reached out and have asked to be a part of that process.
And we just found out about this last week, so.
Correct.
Do you know how long the money will come in? How many installments? or
I
time
don't
frame?
offhand. Eric and I had a discussion about it, but I can't recall what he said. I think they have a certain amount of time period, and how they disperse those funds, maybe 10 years, is up to
Pretty
them.
spread out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 18 different payments, I
Is
believe.
it 18 payments?
18.
I don't remember the number, yeah.
Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 22-598. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Nothing else to add today. Thank you.
Commissioner Merrill?
Okay, I have two things. One's going to take a little time, so let me get the other one out of the way first. Of course, the board meeting Friday lasted 4 hours.
Oh, my
It was
goodness.
a long one, but it was productive, and obviously with investment situation funders says right now, there's a dramatic drop in the assets that, same true, I'm sure, of SEPCO, and but we're in good shape, but it is going to be a challenge over the next time frame to figure out how we're going to move forward to the benefit of the 66 counties that are served by Corsa. With that, I want to take a little time and Bob Horrock, who used to be our leader at Source Point, reached out to me about 4 weeks ago, and the purpose was to ask for our assistance in a name, let's say, acknowledging the efforts of a particular individual. And I'm going to read a paragraph just for the record. And it's Dr. Arthur Sherwood Fleming. This is from Mr. Horrock, and I believe you guys have a copy. Is one of a very small group of people in U.S. history to receive our highest national civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Amazingly, he received this prestigious honor not once, but twice, bestowed by President Eisenhower in 1957 and again by President Clinton in 1994. During his professional career, he served in several high-level national capacities under 7 U.S. presidents, 4 Republican and 3 Democrats, beginning with Theodore Roosevelt through Ronald Reagan. He played a leading role in the development of Medicare and contributed to Social Security policy throughout 4 decades. And he enrolled as a freshman at Ohio Wesleyan back in 1923. I did not know of this background, but Bob is very enthusiastic and very passionate about it, and he approached the city of Delaware about the possibility of some recognition around Source Point on Cheshire, and that led to me asking him to put that in writing, so I did not misrepresent anything. Paragraph which I just read and which you guys have a copy of. And it's my suggestion, I'm looking for my notes here. I think this is fairly easy for us to handle. In his conversations with the city, it was brought to his attention that a small portion of the road is under the control of the county. And the city raised that question, which led him to call me. It's kind of in the middle. It's not on either end, but just to make sure we're all on the same page. So I reached out to Chris Bosman to get his perspective on it, and his suggestion, one of the options he suggested, would be, and I'm reading his quote, would be let the city handle the designation alone and post signs at each end of the honorary segment, since both ends are in the city limits. no one's talking about changing the name of the road because that creates other issues. It's more honorary. And then I also called Mr. Holman, just to make sure everybody's on the same page and that he is in fact aware, and he was. And I think there is full support on the part of the city. So it'd be my recommendation that we allow our administrator, Tracy, to work with Chris, and whether it requires some resolution from us or it could just done through a letter, that'll be for she to determine. And I would support it. So that's the background and that's the recommendation.
Sure, I would be supportive, too.
Sure. Yeah, Dr. Fleming was an outstanding citizen of Delaware and man of many accomplishments.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, I could have read the whole thing, but the first paragraph pretty well
Yeah.
illustrates what he
And
contributed.
I didn't realize the connection. There was a Spies a year behind me in high school that is the son of
Oh, really?
of his daughter's, yeah. And I didn't know there was any connection there.
So I would just suggest we follow the lead of the city and
Yeah, that sounds
be
great.
supported.
Yeah, again, one of those citizens of Delaware.
Gee.
Many national accomplishments. Great stuff.
Oh, well, that's great.
Okay.
Good. Thanks for doing the follow-up on it.
Happy to do it, and Bob really put it in place, so he deserves the kudos for doing
Yeah,
that.
and thanks to Bob, too. Yes. Okay, done?
all right.
Okay, Commissioner Benton.
Just a couple things. We had a land bank meeting last week, a special one to finalize the agreement with the Ohio Department of Development, which we got approval to sign. It's not, the whole process isn't complete because the Ohio Department of Development has to now technically approve each of the demolition grants that we applied for. I think they will, but officially they have not at this point, so we'll get the agreement signed back to them by the deadline Wednesday. And if there's some discussion about maybe changing this agreement a little bit. Maybe if it changes, we'll submit the amendments. But anyway, that is moving forward. The projects have to be completed by next May, but one of the discussions is, can we delay that? Because, here it is mid-July and we still don't even technically have approval, much less all the processes for submitting of reimbursements and paperwork and so on. So anyway, hope to hear very soon about the details, get the agreement signed, any further amendments, and then start the process to get the go-ahead to the jurisdictions that submitted the grants and get those demolitions underway. An investment advisory committee meeting on Thursday, I think it was, and again, interest rates are a concern of everybody. As an investor, interest rate increases help the earnings, and they certainly are doing that here. So anyway, that's it.
Okay, and Dr. Newton, I always get such a kick out of him. He is so well-informed, former professor of economics at Ohio State University, and he is used to a lecture, and I can certainly understand that, lecturing. And so he gave us an excellent briefing on the state of the economy. Even though he was told, okay, all right, you just have so many minutes and give it to the professor. He just went on and educated us, which is great. I really enjoy that. So also,
You enjoy being educated.
I do, especially by Dr. Newton. Yeah, he's really good. And met with Morpsey, and I think we all did last week, and thanks to them for coming up to Delaware County. We each had individual meetings, and they gave us a summary of what was going on and some of what will be happening at Morpsey
And
too.
to that, 'cause we could have all three brought it up, I did, I believe from what I heard from them, you guys did as well, reinforced their support for 36, 37, 71, and all the other projects that we've talked about. So they have that message, and I think they heard it 3 times apparently. So.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. And we do have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 22-599. in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment and compensation of a public employer or public official to consider the sale of property at competitive bidding and for collective bargaining.
Second?
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-599. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We're now recessed into